So, we finally, our last video, I think, of the night is going to be a call for an uprising, talking about the election. Again, this was posted the 3rd, so this is actually during the election at some point. I don't know what time of day he posted this, but let's see what he has to say.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show, a special show because it is Selection Day.
Noon, thank you for gifting a sub.
Every 4 years, the elites decide who our next president of the United States is going to be, our next actor is put in place.
What is with these people and thinking politicians are actors? No, they're not.
To ultimately...
Unless you're Ronald Reagan, and that's also a thing you do. But he wasn't an actor when he was a politician. He was being the president and the governor when he was the governor of California.
Create order out of chaos, and that's exactly what you're seeing go on. Now, if you're not familiar, the Freemason motto is order out of chaos, because they're going to bring in order through chaos. And chaos is exactly what you're going to see. Now, I want to give my prediction, and I've done this...
Ooh, excessive observer with 2,000 bits. Ooh, they called it. AP called Michigan. Oh, yeah. So let's see, we need 6 more electoral votes to win. We just need Nevada! That's all we need. Okay? We just need either Nevada, or Pennsylvania, or North Carolina, or Georgia. Any one of these will win for Biden. And Nevada, trending blue. So we'll see what happens. I think they said they're not calling that till tomorrow, because they're not going to announce more votes. But Mitchell Drummer with 100 bits, I'm euphoric. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe it's healthy paranoia after 2016, but we'll see what happens. Razor, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. 2-month streak. He wasn't even an actor in the movies he was in. Sick burn. Sick Reagan burn. Do 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 do. Sorry, I'm dealing with dummies on Twitter. I'll stop in a sec. This is why the stream's gotta end too. Now I'm getting real ADHD.
There's nothing funny about
I'm losing focus. Focus.
In the past, last time I was wrong, and this is something that, look, everyone out there can just
Noon with 100 bits. We're in this together. Let's go, lesbians and everyone else. I just wanted to make the funny meme.
But the reason I believe that Donald Trump will be selected is because it makes the most sense to continue the chaos, to continue with the outbreak spreading, so more restrictions and things like that, and more chaos occur, and eventually the vax and everything else that comes, instead of Biden coming in and bringing in, we're going to get this resolved through science. Continue to have Trump ignore the science, right? Because there really is no science that is even occurring here. This is all just part of a circus and a show. And it makes the most sense to me, so that's why I'm going that way. However...
Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. By the way, we finally topped 100,000 COVID cases today. Bitches, USA, USA, USA. I
believe what might end up happening is they may announce Biden as the winner.
Again, what is this idea that they're going to announce a fake winner? Guys, no. If they announce Biden won, it's because he fucking won. All this disinformation is so frustrating. I hate these people. EO&80 with 20 bits. How dare Pennsylvania count votes in a safe environment? They should be watched by heavily armed men at all times.
And Trump might come out and say all the votes haven't been gathered, all the mail-in votes, and speculate about it. And then eventually, like an old wrestling event, right? The referee's going to come in and reverse the decision which would cause riots, more chaos, because people who once were celebrating in the streets tomorrow night or the night after will now be rioting and causing chaos because they're going to believe that Trump just made up the fact that he won the election.
Right, because if he loses the vote and then claims he won, he would have stolen the election and effectively ended democracy in the United States. Which is bad, in case that needs to be said.
And it's just going to be complete and utter nonsense. Now, you might remember when Trump was selected 4 years ago, we actually had rioting. Before any of the stuff that has happened in the last 4 years that has been planned out has happened. And there was nothing 4 years ago, because I was doing this. I had a channel and was covering this stuff all the time. There was nothing anywhere remotely close to the type of chaos that is going on now. But they rioted 4 years ago.
Making news in America this morning, breaking overnight, people filling the streets in...
Oh yes, this looks like a riot and not, you know, a protest. Do people not understand the difference between a protest and a riot? You see how they're all just like hanging out and just existing publicly and not hurting anyone or anything? This is a protest. It's not a riot, you dummy. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. I think we need to call in Iraqi and Afghanistani peacekeepers to ensure free and open elections in the United States.
In America's cities, protesting President-elect Donald Trump.
Crowds set fires, blocked freeways, and gathered at Trump's buildings all across the country.
I think that a lot of people are here mourning.
I am terrified.
Guys, people protesting is not a riot. Like, same with Trump supporters, by the way. Biden looks like he might win. We'll see. But if Biden wins, and if Trump supporters wanted to go somewhere and protest, and I just mean protest, and stand around with signs and be like, I'm disappointed, that's fine. We might laugh at them, like people on the right probably laughed at Democratic or left-leaning protesters back in 2016, but they're allowed to do that. You have a First Amendment right. You have the right to go out and protest whatever you want for any reason, right? That's not a riot. A riot's a completely different thing.
And look,
he's saying the quiet part out loud. They always do lately. You notice that?
Since then, and recently, remember, I always talk about predictive programming in the news. They have told us to expect rioting, to expect a lot of things to go on.
Yeah. It's because Trump's base has been radicalized, and it's because a bunch of people on the left are also super, super on edge and angry after the last 4 years. Like, people, this country's pretty stressed out. I don't know if you noticed. So that's going to tend to happen when people are stressed. EO&80 with 20 bits. It's chaos in the streets. I see someone eating a baby. It might have been a sandwich, but I'm 20% sure it was a baby. That's hilarious.
In cities, obviously these people will be paid for, and then of course monkey see, monkey do. The sheep out there will jump in and follow suit because they're influenced by whatever they see on TV, and that's how they react to everything, yet they think that they're free thinkers.
Businesses are bracing for potential unrest after Election Day tomorrow. Our Bertha Coombs is watching that this morning. Hi, Bertha.
Hey, how are you, Carl? We are in Herald Square. This was one of the areas last summer following the death of George Floyd that saw a tremendous amount of unrest and some of that spilling over into violence and looting. So businesses here.
MMO addicted with 40 bits. Tucker. Sneaking will do you nothing, but if you drop another 1,000, I shall hand you my crown and go into the shame of obscurity.
Have begun boarding up.
Jesus.
As you can see, this is Santander Bank. And Macy's, in fact, across the street yesterday started putting up boards on its windows, although Macy's officials told us that they were doing so normally because of their holiday displays. They are preparing that, but they acknowledge that they are taking extra precautions if there is some potential disruption. Macy's, of course, one of the stores that saw major looting here at its flagship. Saks Fifth Avenue similarly put up more modest-looking boards. They were painted as well, but Saks does acknowledge that...
Can we not ignore her name as Bertha Coombs? I want to try and ignore it. How about that?
That they are implementing additional security measures because of the election. They are boarding up their windows, and they are also adding additional security personnel.
And from there, remember, this is the perfect scenario for them to blame this on the American people. Of course, they're going to blame it and say that Trump rigged it if he is indeed selected. And look, I could be completely wrong. Either way, there will be some type of chaos. If, of course, Biden is selected, they could ultimately
There's nothing funny about the tools of
start making
Tucker White 94. Won't someone think of the economy? Broken windows displeases economos. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
the quote.
I would certainly never goad people towards property destruction, but like, out of all the things to care about,
capitalism.
especially if it's a place like Macy's, I don't really give a shit. Don't commit violence, though.
Unquote alt-right.
MMO addicted to 20 bits. Tinfoil hat on. Hannah only ignores Bertha Coombs' name because she was the original lead singer for Sex Abacus before Hannah took over Conspiracy. True. True. She's never trusted me ever since. She sends me dead rats in the mail like Jared Leto.
Right, which unfortunately we're all lumped into, go out and do dangerous type things, and you'll hear all this supremacy stuff, and we'll get linked and grouped into that, which will bring more censorship, more rights being taken away. But to me, it makes more sense for them to do this so they can continue to destruct and destroy America's morale, to divide all of us against
Does anyone know, has Pennsylvania said they'll be done by tonight, or do they think tomorrow?
each other, which is ultimately what they want and ultimately what is working. But remember, all we've heard from celebrities over the last year, especially the last couple months, is that your vote matters, right?
I know they originally said Friday, but I just wasn't sure if they had an updated or if things were going quicker or slower or what. So
have tweeners and teens with commercials talking about how they can't vote. So your vote counts for them. So do the right thing, right? So there's a responsibility that comes with your vote. So when
yeah, you have a responsibility to your fellow human, especially people younger than you who are going to live past you and deal with the consequences of your choices. You have a responsibility to make reasonable, good choices in the electorate to make sure that your country and the world as a whole makes policies and takes decisions that are beneficial not only to you, but to future generations. That's a good thing.
chaos comes, they'll be able to point a finger and say, look, you're the people who selected this man and elected him as your president, even though he was pre-selected and your vote doesn't count.
Hey, America.
Hey, America.
What's up, America?
Guess what time it is?
It's time to vote.
Easy enough.
Sure, it's been a long time since you left the house.
I cut my own hair for the last 5 months.
And other hair on my body.
Can you tell? I'm pretty much a pro at painting my own toenails.
But one thing I do know.
I am a voter.
I am a voter.
I am a voter.
So are you.
It's your chance to...
This is you can only vote.
Influencers who all obviously, look, what a coincidence, right? They're all liberal. They all will say, we warned you, we told you had a responsibility.
Yeah, people in Hollywood, actors, actresses, tend to be left-leaning. Not always. There are actors and actresses who are right-leaning. But they tend to be left-leaning, and I've talked about this before, I think partially because acting and a lot of different things in creative mediums like Hollywood, when you're telling stories about other people and trying to get things across to other people. I forget who said it. It was in some screenwriting book where someone said that movies, and to an extent now TV shows because they operate a lot like movies, are machines built on empathy. They're empathy machines. They're designed to get you to feel certain things, and in order to effectively do that as a writer or a director or an actor, is you need to understand the perspective of other people in order to simulate that for the screen. So people who work in Hollywood are going to tend to be more liberal, at least on social issues, because they have a great deal of empathy. I would argue more so than the general public. Not to say that I think, actors and actresses and directors are all empaths or some shit. I just mean I think there's a pretty severe deficit of empathy in a lot of the country, and just by benefit of the fact that, actors, actresses, and directors and stuff tend to have it by virtue of needing it to function effectively in their jobs, they're gonna have more liberal people because they're empathetic.
and people just didn't listen and didn't do the right thing. Now the big brother needs to come in, and big brother needs to bring order, and big brother needs to take care of business to protect all of us from each other. And we aren't capable of making decisions or the proper decisions because we're not mentally capable of doing it, and we need them to do it for us. These are things to look for, but the narrative is going to be insanity in the next few days. This isn't going to be a simple Trump wins or Biden wins. There is going to be a circus. And
I mean, a lot of people are expecting that because Trump's a shitbag who no matter what is going to contest the results. We're already seeing it happening. Like, the dude's crazy. It's not like a big brain psychic move to be like, oh, this election's going to be messy. Yeah, we know. In 2016, he won, and he still said he thought there was election fraud. It was ridiculous. Or voter fraud. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Check this out, Hannah. It ties into our discussion. Okay, I will in a sec. And then there's another. Oh, wrong link. Here it is. Okay, sure. Trump's not crazy. He's a run-of-the-mill fascist. They're not mutually exclusive. Hitler was also crazy. Godwin's law.
We are not prepared to. As I mentioned, we are not prepared to give that number. The Biden crime family stealing the election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. We want our freedom for the world. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is covering up this election. He's stealing it.
Really? They don't have any cops there? Jesus Christ.
Where were we? What was the last question?
I hate everything.
Even hinting at it, you can see the headlines here on CNN. One of the headlines talking about apparently there's fake viral videos out there on the eve of election day, selection day, of Biden not knowing what state he's in, and they're saying, oh, this is going to cause people to change their vote, and this is more people with fake news, and we need to censor more on Twitter and censor more on YouTube. And then you have this other headline, which is just, you know, more laughable crap, that the judge rejects the GOP challenge to invalidate 127,000 votes.
That literally happened. What are you talking about? That's a thing that happened.
Trump is trying to invalidate votes, and then he'll come out and he'll say that the Democrats were trying to do it, and they found Trump, you know, votes in the garbage can, and the mailmen are throwing it out. All this stuff that I've covered, all this predictive programming is setting up for what's going to be chaotic. People are expecting that tomorrow night, by midnight tomorrow, whatever they say on the TV is going to be the final result. And they're going to sit there with their popcorn and they're going to watch it. But I guarantee you that something is going to sway this. I would not be shocked. And this is just a prediction or just a guess. And it wouldn't matter to me if I'm...
Towing 24 with 20 bits, white privilege. The fact that Captain Crazy Pants didn't get spear tackled. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right or I'm wrong. Because these are things that I don't have control over. I'm not in some secret Bohemian Grove meeting where I know what they're going to do. But this is me going off of what I see. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and tell us that Biden won and then reverse the decision the next day or 2 days later, or something happens and Trump...
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Biden is... And again, we don't know. Depends on what's going to happen in Nevada and Pennsylvania. But it is closing in a little bit. Not a ton, though. Although I just looked at it a little bit ago, but God, look how close it is. Is this like even like, let's say Donald Trump won, this would still have to be like one of the closest elections in a long time, right? In fairness, I don't know what the electoral count was in 2000. 2000 electoral votes. Bush won 271. Yeah. Oh, God, guys. I hate it. I hate it so much. Can we go to the timeline where Al Gore won the election, please? Please, for the love of God. Mandela effect. I'm calling on your powers. Send me to the better universe.
Trump rejects that Biden won because he says they found hundreds of thousands of votes, you know, in a kitty litter box somewhere. And then everybody starts fighting amongst themselves. The citizens start fighting amongst themselves. And what once was cheers turns to chaos. Now, if they flat out come out tomorrow and say Trump won, you'll just automatically have what we had 4 years ago, where immediately there's riots in the streets.
Again, dumbass. They weren't riots, they were protests. Do you not understand the difference between the two things? They're different words for a reason.
Because apparently everybody was just sitting around waiting, and then when Trump won, they were like, let's go riot. I don't care if I go to jail. Yay! And millions of people just showed up. We're like, I'm going to go to town square. And look, there's hundreds of thousands of people here. How did we coordinate this? Oh, because it was pre-planned, like everything.
The lives of these people must be so frustrating that they think every little thing is orchestrated, and if you go and do a protest, then you're being paid by George Soros. Believe me, if George Soros was handing out checks to go to protest shit, that would be my full-time job. I'd just go to protest to protest to protest. Be like, yeah, what are we protesting this week? Ban fisheries? Fish hatcheries? What are we doing? I don't know. I don't know what people protest. I don't go outside. Oh, I just want this election to be over so bad.
Everything else. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm curious what your guess is on this. I know some of you believe the election's real. I know some of you believe that.
Yeah. Yep. Because evidence says it is. It does. If evidence changed, if new evidence came out, great, fine. I would take that evidence into account. But until such a time that it is determined that elections are somehow a fraud, I'm not going to believe that. You need evidence for your claims.
That Trump is not one of them. You're entitled to your opinion. Obviously, you know mine, which is that all this stuff is just a big charade. But I want to know what you guys think might occur here. So give me your opinions. And again, you can share it here. You can share it on the website if you're a member of the website. And we'll let the chaos organize itself out, because either way, get ready for it, because it's coming. I thank everyone out there for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
Absolutely nuts. These people are crazy.